Hey folks, it's Jang here from Jang Bricks with a look at Mega Bloks Halo set number 97115 from 2013 with 443 pieces. This is the UNSC Mantis set. An epic set, I would say so myself. Came out looking pretty darn realistic for a little brick-based building set. For something that's not actually intended to be a scale model. So just very first impressions after having built this thing, very happy with it. But let's go ahead and take a deeper dive and look at the specifics. I'm going to first look at the figure. This is a Spartan with warrior armor, and they say on the box that this is a new mold for this set. It was introduced with this set. I have not done my research to confirm that, but I tend to believe the maker of the thing when they say something is new. Warrior armor is something that I did wear myself in playing Halo Online for a time, especially the helmet. Kind of liked that helmet. And this one has a gold visor on there. You can see it shining right there in the light. Looks pretty good, pretty decent detailing on it. The body is a little bit lacking in definition, I think, in some of the detail bits of it. Kind of the corners are rounded a little bit compared to some of the other ones, but not too bad. Well done with the printing or the painting. Everything is pretty crisp and clear around the edges there. And the weapon that this guy has is a saw. You can see it's just a plain black saw. There's no printing or painting on it. So that's cool, but this guy in particular is supposed to go into the driver's seat of the Mantis. So I'll do that in a second. But first, I want to look at this maintenance platform. This is kind of a docking bay for the Mantis itself, and this is a nice add-on. It has the right colors to it. I think putting UNSC down there was not really necessary, but it kind of adds a little bit of patriotism, to the UNSC group. I think that's okay. I really like the computer consoles here, even though they've just duplicated the keypads across the two. They do have different bits that they show across this one continuous sticker that actually goes across two 2x2 tile pieces, but you can kind of see the current shield, recharge, strength, and just some other random bars that indicate the level of health of different things. I like the use of the silver and these pieces to hold up the platforms. They use grate pieces here that give you that nice ability to see through them. That works, makes sense. You've got a ladder over here for getting up to this platform on the top, which again uses that grating material, and that's intended to be a platform where you would stand to get onto the Mantis or get off it. I will show you how that all looks when you attach a Mantis to it, because there's actually a way that you can get it to really stay there, but I'll show you that after looking at the Mantis itself. Okay, so this bad boy is obviously why you're looking at this video in the first place. You wanted to see this. And from the opening shot to this shot, I have lifted it up so that it is in more of a standing position, and just rotating this thing around. I mean, it looks so good for a construction set. It's approaching the level of realism and detail and accuracy of a static model. I think. They use so many different parts and pieces to make this come out just right. A fair number of stickers are used throughout this thing from place to place. Some of them actually do cover multiple parts, and I'm not a big fan of that. For instance, right here you can see this is a single sticker going over two pieces. This is a single sticker going over two pieces. You've got some over here and stuff, so that kind of reduces the ability to reuse these parts if you wanted to take these apart and do customizations and stuff like that. That's unfortunate, but it is standing up on its own. This definitely has, as you kind of play with it and have it in your hands, I can tell you it has a tendency to move about and look like the quote-unquote real Mantis from the actual game, from Halo 4. because a lot of the weight is in here. I don't know if they did that on purpose or if it just worked out that way, but the hull, the main core hull, is where most of the weight is compared to the relatively lanky, relatively lightweight legs. So it kind of has that feeling like it's trying to balance, like it needs to actually make some conscious effort with the stabilization programs in it to try to get it to stand up. It kind of feels realistic in that way to me, so I actually like that. But it does stand up on its own. It's about as sturdy as the Mantis is in game, I'd say, and you can get it to come down lower. So I'll return it to the lower pose, which is actually even more sturdy because you've got this pair of inverted slope pieces here that will hold the legs right there. And then I'll just rotate this around, kind of. Oops! I will show you exactly what's going on there in a minute, but no, don't worry about that just yet. You can get it down a little bit closer to the ground. It becomes even more stable, but now it just kind of has a relatively kind of squat look to it. While it's like this, I'll go ahead and show you some more of the details. So you've got your gun over here with the 3 barrels. You can rotate both arms in 2 ways. You can rotate them here with the ratcheted piece, but then it's also spinning on a pin. So you can kind of raise it up and do like this, which isn't something that the actual thing does from what I've seen, but it is a nice thing to be able to do. You can adjust the angle of your silos over here very easily, and you can also rotate these up and down a little bit. So that's another thing you can do if you try to indicate one that's out of commission or that has been disabled. You can just let the arms kind of fall down. I'll go ahead and put in the Spartan now, because right here, this does open up. This entire pilot section opens up, and it's a large single piece. It's exclusive to this set that they made just to fit for the lower part of the hull, and it includes an actual seat that's molded into it. And then you've got a little bit of a panel here where you can kind of see, not a lot of detail there, but you've got some buttons, and that's supposed to be your main display. They did mold in a couple of foot, I don't know, rests, or maybe there's supposed to be, I don't know, maybe there's supposed to be pedals or something like that. But the Spartan, where is he? Here he is. Drop him in there. The scale, I think, is pretty good. I think when you're in game, actually piloting the Mantis, it doesn't feel as large, but once you actually see one, when you're outside of one and it has an occupant in it and it's really standing up, you really start to see just how huge these things can be. And he just drops right in there. You don't have to pose him very specifically, just kind of drop him in, make sure his legs fold, and there you go, he goes right in. So that's nice for playability, that you don't have to go through a whole thing of folding him into just the right piloting position and making sure his hands fit onto his control sticks or anything. Very convenient right there. I think the thing just looks great from every angle. I am so happy with this. I like the marbling, the kind of little bit of camo sort of marbling in the panels. It's random. No 2 sets will look exactly the same. I think it makes it look more real, more believable, that it's not all one single color. But I really do like it when you take this and go ahead and stand it up. Now this joint right here does not move. That is locked at a 90-degree angle there. But the feet do have the ratchet joints in them, and they can easily rotate back and forth, which is very convenient. You notice I'm not even using a surface that has pegs in it or that has studs. It's just a plain surface, and that really shows you just how much stability there is built into this thing. But I really like it when it's standing up like this. It becomes a little bit more tricky to get it to balance right, to find that right balancing point, to get that center of gravity where it needs to be. But once you do get it there we go. That's more like it. So awesome, so awesome. Very happy. You've got the ability to move the legs out and in. The feet just kind of go where they need to go. Now, earlier on, you saw this falling off. Now, this is really unfortunate. I did get a piece here, and this is just one of the symptoms of the cheaper building or manufacturing of Mega Bloks pieces compared to some other brands. Occasionally you will get things that don't fit together right, and in this case I just got a piece that was malformed, so it was actually kind of melted a little bit. So did find this to be the best spot to put if you do have the misfortune of getting a malformed joint. Put it right there. It's not going to come off on its own very frequently, just because it's, you know, you're not putting a lot of stress on it there. But that is an unfortunate thing that did come out of building this set. Another unfortunate thing about building this set, it's complicated. It's 443 parts, which is a lot of parts for something that has this amount of bulk. They really did not waste a lot of parts, I'm happy to say, making this platform over here. Not a whole lot of parts used for that, so they really reserved the majority of the cost of the set for building the Mantis. But I want to show you the back of the, or is it the back or is it near the front? Here we go, near the front, yep. The instruction manual. Look at all the different types of parts that are used in this one single set. It's a lot of different types of parts, a lot of small things, and if you're not familiar with Mega Bloks sets and how they arrange them, they come in just a handful of bags, and so many different parts are just mixed together. So it becomes a real challenge to find these, especially when you have so many parts of which there are one or two. It's not so easy to just sort them out. So building this thing was not fun for me at all. I really kind of hated it. But now that it's done, I think that it came out really well, and that really kind of saves the whole thing. Once you see the final result, I think it's worth it. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at how you can dock your Mantis at the maintenance platform. We've got to say, this is a little bit awkward. Doesn't quite match what you would see in the game. Something like that. So there you go. That is how it goes. That's how you dock your Mantis. It's a little bit awkward, I have to admit. This makes for a good look right here. Everything fits together very nicely. You've got your platform right up there on the top. It kind of rests on the shoulder piece. Fits together very well. Your console is nestled up right next to it. That's a good look. But this is still probably not perfect, but that's a little bit better there. That's not really a good look. It would not be able to stand up on its own like that, just from physics. And unfortunately, you cannot make this thing squat down all the way to the ground the way that it does in the game for actually loading up a Spartan. You kind of want to really get it to squat down to the ground, and it's just not going to happen. So that's one thing that they really missed here was the ability to get the thing down without having a platform. But I mean, and then this one piece that was not formed correctly from the factory, but most folks will not encounter that issue, so I don't want to rest on that too much. But the look of this thing is great once you get it standing up in a more normal, more natural pose. I think that is pretty darn cool. So there you have it, the UNSC Mantis ready to kick some butt on Ragnarok. Looks absolutely amazing, pretty stable, has a good amount of articulation. I don't know if I even showed you that it can easily rotate around like this also. That's another good thing, and it still kind of maintains its center of gravity, so that's another good thing. And the best thing about it, 35 bucks. 35 bucks for a 443 piece set that looks incredibly detailed, looks really, really good. Comes with only a single figure, but they do give you as a bonus this whole platform over here. Just a great deal, I think, and definitely a must-have for current Halo fans, folks who are still with Halo in the 4 generation. If you play that game, you know, beyond the original trilogy, the Mantis is an absolutely epic vehicle to walk around with. You know, it's the first playable mech in Halo, and they did it really well. It's super powerful, really fun to play around with, and I think that Mega Bloks has done it proper justice. Tough to build, something that will require some real quality time and some patience and being very careful with sorting out and picking out parts that are very small and can be sometimes a little bit tough to find. And Mega Bloks always does this. They give you a bunch of extra parts, a whole big old stack of extra parts. Look at that, all this extra stuff that they throw in there, making it an even better deal. I'm very happy to have gotten this. This is great even just as a desk model for adults. You know, you want to spend some time in the evening, you get home from work, do it a couple of evenings, build this thing up, and then take it into work and just look at it, just stare at it, because it just looks that good. So thank you very much for watching this review video, and I hope that you will stick around for more reviews to come, as well as custom builds, and I'll be talking to you again soon. Bye for now.